Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Curiosity Cache. We have not been on the air in a few weeks, but it's good to be back. We'll dive right in. So, when last we were adventuring, our intrepid adventurers, I guess? Sure.
Or
You all were looking for the Falchion, the Falchion of Darjun, who is a Sutak gladiator from back in the day. Hello, Expreaholic. Thanks for joining us today. Um, so you were looking for this, and you knew it was in the catacombs under the city somewhere. And following some leads you had found from a memory cafe, you had found a series of tunnels that went from the sewers into some strange tunnels that seemed to have like a sunken city or something. Um, Down there, you found some fellows who were digging around part of those ruins. One of them is a very intense looking orc man named something. Usaa? My memory fails me today. What is his name? Usaa. I was right. And Borla, the dwarf who was with you, knows Usaa, or at least knows of him, and had said, "This dude is bad news. We need to like not piss him off." Um, so, with that being said, the uh, the Hollow Legionnaire Doran has gone in and was attempting to entertain Usaa and trying to get some information. Freed has gone in to attempt to help Doran, I think. And meanwhile, Braca and Freed, along with Borla, are hiding off in the shadows, in the darkness, in the tunnels that they can't see into. Does that all sound about right?
I think I'm still disguised as them as well.
Yeah, you'd use magic to make yourself
Yes.
look like him, which he
Yes,
thought was
you-
entertaining.
Yep, I remember you used disguise self. I think you mentioned free twice in that summary.
Oh, did I? What did I say?
You said, I think you said Freed was in both places.
Decim.
Yeah.
I meant Decim was trying to help
Yes.
Doran
Yes.
out.
Yep.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. and because there was someone over there who was emanating a lot of heat. Freed's like, hey, there's someone who's kind of retreating. I'll go with the person who's retreating.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to start with Doran and Decim because you are, right there up in Usaa's grill, so to speak. What are you doing?
I mean, he asked if I wanted to help,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, of course. So we're all working towards the same thing. So that's essentially what I was doing. He, if I remember correctly, he was pissed, and had turned his back to us. He was pissed off at oh my god, Braca, and was like, oh, you're not what I thought you were. I'm gonna go do my thing.
Right.
You're lucky you walked away. So I'm still kind of like, we can all be friends and work towards a common goal.
Right.
In
Yeah,
this
so he had
Doran signature fashion.
he had thought not necessarily incorrectly, but there is a certain line of understanding there. He had thought that Braca was a Sutak, which is a race of horse people, and technically he is, but socially he is part of the Ironbred, which have stepped away from the Sutak beliefs. And so it was a little insulting for Braca to be called a Sutak. And I feel like, I think you all really caught on that Usaa is not super impressed with Braca not embracing Thulkas, which is the creator of the Sutak, the father of fire. Seems like Usaa is he is really into Thulkas. He has like the symbol of Thulkas embedded in his forehead. It seems kind of like a tattoo, but it's also like it's really more of a brand that has been colored in.
And Braca is no, he's not cool with the evil Titan.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. There aren't a lot of people who are cool with the Father of Fire, so
yes, do not accuse me of being evil or think that I'm going to be your buddy in evil.
Yeah,
no,
that's
why Braca turned his back very quickly, hoping to a certain degree provoke something, and well, that plan failed. So good luck.
Yeah. So Decim, you're up there, and you're kind of keeping an eye on everything. And one of those little char fiend demons had crawled down and is nearby you. Keeps looking at you, and then it looks at Usaa, and seems to be waiting for a command. Go ahead and make me a insight check, if you don't mind.
I'm sort of super good at this.
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
So the body language of the char fiend is definitely aggression that's being held in check by its need to, and you know this because Usaa had asked for the crystals that you had removed from the other char fiends you killed. It's probably only being held in check by Usaa's command. However, looking at Usaa, there's just this like burning. The best way I can really describe it is wildness, like this barely contained violence right behind his features. Like, you know, it's in his eyes, but he's managing to like keep his face fairly calm. And when there was the interaction between him and Doran, where Doran is like essentially kind of being slightly gesterish, like a little clowny, trying to like lighten the mood and keep his like trying to get it on his good side. He's definitely barely kept that wildness contained. It looks like he's ready to lash out at any time. What do you do?
He's like a swamp tiger.
Yeah, totally like a swamp tiger.
Okay. So Decim is gonna, I guess, try and maybe shepherd Doran kind of at a diagonal, like just nice and calm and slow, away from the big scary swamp tiger.
Okay. What do you say to Doran, or do you just like physically go up and try and move him?
Just kind of gently steer him, you know. I'm not trying to be very overt about it with there being an angry swamp tiger here. You know, usually the best course of action is just to kind of slowly, you know, make yourself less visible. You know.
Pretend to walk downstairs.
Yeah.
And then just lay on the ground and hope it doesn't kill you. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Doran, Decim, who you've been kind of mimicking for much of your time in this group, is like he walks up to you and just kind of tries to move you away back towards the way you came. Decim, do you want to take him back to the stairs, or are you just gonna like hop down that ledge?
Hopping down, I think, would be maybe a little too sudden of a movement.
Okay.
So I think going back either the way we came, since there are stairs, and it's a bit more of a gentle movement. To go that route.
Okay.
I mean, definitely not going at a hurried pace. And definitely keeping an eye on the creatures that are within striking distance.
Yeah, and so just to verify, you walk up to Doran?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to move your token over there, and just in case you don't remember or you don't see it there on the map, another one of those char fiends had like scampered down to that level and climbed up on that pillar that's laying there and is just kind of like watching and waiting, very similarly to the way the other one is. It'll like stare at Usaa and then stare at you and then stare at Usaa like it's waiting for a command. Usaa's just kind of glowering at the two of you right now, like unsure of what your intentions are. So Doran, what are you doing? Like, obviously it seems like Decim is trying to herd you this direction.
Well, I'm super confused because the big angry orc man has been nice to me, and as far as I'm concerned, we're all trying to do the same thing. So I don't understand the disconnect.
Okay.
Like, why can't we just work together? I don't understand what's so hard. So I'm just gonna kind of just look like at one and then look at the other.
Okay.
Not really much to do. I forget exactly what he said when I offered to help. I think he accepted, but he wasn't sure if others were going to come with me or not.
I feel like that is pretty much where it was left. Yeah. So like he's accepted your help, and then Decim kind of scampered up and has moved over, and we ended pretty much as Decim was getting up there. So now he's, fairly quickly after that has come over and is just moving you away. Like, I feel like Decim, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, but I feel like he kind of has that salesperson like smile on his face, but he's just like calmly trying to walk away.
Yeah, I believe he even attempted to pitch a sale.
I believe he did. Yeah. which is probably why he's kind of glowering at you. Like, there's definitely this sense of you might be wasting his time.
Well, since he accepted my help, and that is what I remembered, and that is what happened, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow him because I'm helping, and they're obviously doing the thing that we came here to do in the first place, which is why I'm hired.
Yeah. So. Okay, so Decim, Doran doesn't really like follow your lead, which is a little weird because like for the last several days he has like kind of mimicked you, and it seems like he definitely has or they have this more set attitude of not doing that. Do you want to stay there, or are you going to continue moving away?
Yeah, he's going to continue moving away. He will, have a bit of a happy tear that forms, they grow up so fast. But he's also going to mutter under his breath, a Slytherin proverb, which is, "May they grow up faster than the crocodile."
Right. It's kind of like that human proverb of you don't need to run faster than the bear, just faster than your slowest friend.
Than your cousin, yeah.
Your cousin, right? Okay, so are you able to interact with your astral today?
Yeah, it's not. The map is looking a little weird here. It's mostly black.
Yeah, it keeps blacking out for me too. I'm not totally sure what's going on. I'm just going to go ahead and move you. Right now you're next to Doran. I'm going to move you about 15 feet away as you move away.
I can see the tokens.
Okay,
so I can see my relation to...
Perfect.
To everybody.
So while that's going on, I want to jump down to the others. So Freed, I know you weren't in the last game, so let me catch you up real quick. You had come, you can see your token, correct?
Uh-huh.
And can you see the map?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So you had joined the rest of everyone else up behind this crumbled wall. But once you kind of realized that this guy was a follower of the Father of Fire, like this Titan that represents pretty much everything that is anathema to you, you had kind of, in the darkness, given him the finger and then walked off.
That's fitting, yeah.
Braca had caught up with you and was like, maybe we should go back and help, and you were like, I really don't feel comfortable doing that. And so you're both kind of staying here. Braca had walked about halfway back to figure out what was going on, because he I'm pretty sure Braca thought, and Noah, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think Braca thought everyone was going to leave.
Braca thought first, okay, if I turn my back and walk away, there's going to be overt aggression and violence.
Right.
That didn't happen. Okay, I'm going to keep walking, and the rest of the party will keep walking too, right? Then, near the end of the last session, it was, oh no, they haven't walked away.
Right.
I need to gingerly walk back, but make very, very certain that I'm staying outside of line of sight, so no one completely knows I'm walking back because I want to save at least some face.
Right. Right. Okay. And essentially, I can't remember. Do you have dark vision, Braca?
I had, and that's the other thing. I have 30 feet of dark vision. Free does not have any.
And I think what we were
So-
going on with this for now is that there is light coming out of this break in the wall. And so, Freed, you're really at the edge of this light. Like, Borla here is in the shadow of the wall, and Braca is kind of in this, like, very dim light, but Freed, you're standing at the edge of that, and so aren't visible to anyone who would be standing in that break.
Gotcha.
So with all of that being said, Freed, what are you thinking now?
I like it here. Like it's cool. Probably damp because we're in a cave.
It is damp.
Wow.
It's not like overtly warm like it has been outside. Like it's not uncomfortable. But you also remember you're looking for an area that has like some kind of lava or magma in it, and that was like a big like turn off for you. You were just like, I don't want to go on this adventure.
I'm thinking we made a lot of bad choices. Yeah, like there's fire, there's lava, there's all kinds of heat, and so I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna like focus on the now and be like, I'm gonna stay here. Brocco's right there. I'm just going to enjoy the cool for a while I can.
Okay. And Braca, what are you doing?
Oh, this is very simple. I'm around someone who doesn't have full visibility and is reliant on the few natural light sources around, and we know there aren't that many, so
Yeah,
I've got to keep him safe.
absolutely.
And and Braca's probably saying that or things along those lines, whispering them to Freed, like, "Look, I'm here for you. I'm here for you."
Thumbs up. I'll appreciate that.
So, Braca, you can see Borla even though she's in the shadow with your dark vision. And as she steps away, like, she makes some gestures to you, like, I'm coming to you. And as she steps away, you all hear this voice that comes from... All right, come on, Matt, come back. You were doing it earlier. Whoa. So there is a tunnel off to the right here, and Decim and Doran, you can see this tunnel, and a robed figure. Where is my robed figure? I'll just snag this guy. Comes walking out of it, and he's like, "Anointed One, I think we have found something."
This is why we should help.
And Usaa stops glowering at the two of you and looks over. Ah, excellent. Doran, did you say what your name was? I don't recall.
I don't think I ever actually told him what
Yeah,
my name was.
I
I
don't
was
think
just
so.
offered to help, and he's like, "Sure," and I was like, "Let's go."
So he looks at Doran and he says, are you still willing to help?
Of course, I've.
Excellent. What about your rat friend?
I understand that he means the Slytherin, so
Yeah.
I'm like looking around, for a little itty bitty rat like on my person.
Yeah.
I just kind of shrug. I'm like, I'm not sure what you mean.
And Decim, he obviously like is speaking about you. What do you want to do about that?
He begins going through the routine that Dr. Zagini would usually do when wrapping up a sales pitch for a not very receptive crowd. And you know, a lot of bowing and scraping, and you know, tipping a non-existent hat, talking about the weather and how beautiful everyone here looks today in this light. You, sir, you are you truly are a specimen. Glorious person, you.
Usaa kind of quivers a little. Like, you can see that, like, pent-up rage in his eyes as he glares at you, Decim. And then he glances over at the Charfiend that is near you, and he gestures towards the robed individual, and that Charfiend takes off and runs over there. And he does the same for the other Charfiend that's up on the pillar. And then he looks uphill, because remember there's like the levels to this area, and he shouts, "Join your brethren and help him!" And so these fellows up here all head down. Tokens are not dragging very well today for some reason. But yeah, everyone slowly starts, not even slowly, all of these fellows rapidly run down and join this robed guy. Decim, you keep moving?
Yeah, I'm just nice and steady, nice and slow.
Okay.
Smiling, giving compliments, thanking everyone for their time. So sorry about Timmy. The pre-existing condition, I'm sure. I'll be back with a cure for that later.
So as they move past you, Doran, Usaa juts his chin out, like nods with his head, and gestures that you should follow the robed individuals.
Aye, aye. I look back at everybody. I'm like, come on. It's totally good. Let's go. And I start making my way downtown, I guess.
Okay. Decim, do you head back out?
Yeah, I mean, I still want to maintain a visual feed on Doran.
Okay.
All the while, of course, you know, just muttering under my breath, tried and true and historically accurate Slytherin proverbs.
So as you're
Mostly dealing with the swamp and dying.
As you're walking up these stairs back towards this break in the wall, you see Doran join this group over here, and they disappear down that tunnel.
Making new friends.
Yeah, Decim stands like a proud parent outside their child's dorm room. You know, just having packed them into there and bought them a school shirt, and you know, awkwardly trying not to cry.
Make me a perception check.
He's just so proud. You said perception?
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
Proceed.
What is up with your rolls today? That's amazing.
Wow. You know, it's all that Slytherin wisdom.
Right? So as you wipe that proud tear out of your eye, you just happen to glance over, and you notice Usaa is talking quietly with this robed figure that's up by him, who has a Charfiend standing next to him. And they both look pointedly in your direction, and the robed figure nods. And then Usaa will head after the group that went down the tunnel.
What does the robed figure and the fiend do?
They're just watching you. They do move like over. Closer on that ledge, that elevation of there, but they just seem to be watching you. Meanwhile, Freed, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna go by this wall and just kind of like sit down and take a second.
Okay. Yeah, the wall's nice and cool. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of condensation on it. There's been some like pools of water down here.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's pretty comfortable as far as temperature wise. It is like in the dark, a little dank down here, but for the most part, everything is fine. Braca, after Borla realizes that the person who shouted wasn't shouting, "Oh my God, there's a dwarf over there in the shadows," or something like that, she scampers over and joins you. What do you do, Braca?
Well, let's say our last expedition turned into be, well, we've got to spend a lot of time trying to rescue Freed, and I'm afraid that that's about to repeat itself.
It's true, except for not Freed, but yeah.
Yeah, not exactly, not Freed, but and other than that, as I'm saying that because I know that Freed, well, Chaz, you weren't here. Freed was occasionally holding on to Braca as okay, a little help seeing in the dark system.
Mhm.
Braca's going to try and make sure that he's within arm's reach, and just kind of follow along.
Arm's reach of who?
Freed.
Okay, so you're gonna head back to Freed.
Yes.
Borla will move with ya. So Decim, you can see 60 feet in the dark, right?
Yeah.
So let me make sure. My thing is not working. Okay, so yeah, you can pretty much see as Braca walks to the edge of the light, you can just kind of make out they're all huddling over there back down that tunnel. What would you like to do?
Well, I mean, I'll give it a second until after Doran is fully out of view, and then
Yeah.
I'll kind of raise a little paw and wave it over at the robe figure and the fiend. Did they do anything?
So you wave at them.
Yeah.
You actually notice the fiend kind of goes to wave, but then the robe figure glares at it and it puts its paw back down.
And then I'll scurry back into the darkness with to rejoin with the rest of the crew.
Okay.
The Char Fiend is my spirit animal. For sure.
All right, so everyone but Doran is back together. What do you do? What's your plan as a group?
So now that most of us are together, Braca's going to explain what the hell he was thinking when he kind of started this. Not quite fracas. Look, he accused me of being a member of the Sutak. He accused me of being with a Titan, of working with, of not only being evil, but working on behalf of the forces of evil. And I thought that I had a really clever plan of how to expose him as being evil. Clearly, that did not completely work because sometimes those evil people are also really, really smart and crafty, and they have plans to hide themselves. So, I'm not sure what to do now. Clearly, I have used the limit of my tactical expertise.
I wish Doran could actually speak, not Doran, and was here for this conversation.
Sorry.
So Decim and Freed, what's your reaction to that?
Well, first, I completely agree with you. Like, I knew from the second I saw him he was evil with all that fire nonsense. So you don't have to convince me at all. Like, I have 100% faith in you.
Not all fire is bad, but that fire titan is.
I didn't hear the not all.
Or just not the knot.
Yeah, the not I didn't process, but everything else, that entire other sentence, that
All
was correct.
fire is bad, right?
But I guess we got to figure out, or if we're still looking for this, something we have to get Doran. And then I look at Des, I'm like, what happened while you were in there? Because I assume Free were just like, I'm out. I want no parts of this. Shutting down.
Well, he has become a man and is now seeking his fortune.
The last time one of your children became a man, we heard about green poop.
We grow up very quickly and in very mysterious ways.
That's fair.
But they did find something.
Something that the evil fire Sutak would want?
I guess. Would it be valuable?
Would it be valuable enough for us to go and somehow steal it from them and get out without being burned?
Do we run the risk of getting burned getting the falchion?
Did we miss any turns? Yeah, probably. I think we have to go through this this place.
Yes, but it's one thing to go through this place, and it's another thing to go through the. Didn't we get a sense that they would be, shall we say, pretty proficient in combat and were creating creatures or controlling creatures that could kill us, let alone kill us themselves?
So Borla definitely felt like Usaa himself was too great of a threat to try and take on. You had fought a couple of those Charfiends before you got in here. They were like watchdogs, and you had managed to take out two of those. You're not really sure about those robe figures, having not seen any. They haven't done anything except for look around. It seems like they're searching for something. So you're very concerned about Usaa. But other than that, you're not completely. You don't feel like you're completely outgunned against the Charfiends.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not sure about those rogue figures. So while you're all thinking about that, I'm going to cut over, and Doran, so you're heading down that tunnel, and it leads into more of those ruins. You can see this building that has been kind of slightly smooshed by the settling earth above it, and the robe figures seem pretty, like the one that's leading seems like he knows where he's going, and he leads you and these two other robe figures and two of the Charfiends down this northern hallway. And I'm just gonna try and move you all in that direction. For whatever reason, Astral's being a little funky today and dropping characters on the way.
So eventually it's just me and the Charfiends, or?
So it's you and three robe figures and two Charfiends as you head down.
I thought you said that you were dropping, like some of them were going to stay in the hallway as we move down.
No, like Astral is like when you select a group, you can usually drag them all together, and it's just randomly dropping off. Even when I try and drag just one, they're getting caught and just like
goofing up.
Yeah, it's being weird. So yeah, you head down this tunnel, and just ahead of you, I don't know if you can actually see. Can you see the glow at the end of the tunnel?
No.
Okay, so at the end of the tunnel, you can see a glow. It seems like it's like there is rock and collapsed, like some of the tunnel and what was probably a building or whatever has collapsed in, but there's a bit of glow coming through between cracks, and some of the rock itself even seems to be glowing slightly. I'm just gonna keep trying to move you that direction. Yeah, so the one gets up and gestures towards the others, and Usaa's been following you all. He also seems pretty comfortable, like he's potentially been down here before, or he doesn't seem like he's looking around for anything. But the rogue figure that gets down here stops and gestures at the collapse, and he says, this glow recently started. I think it must be a sign. And Usaa's like, yes, Thulkas is showing us the way. What do you do, Doran?
I guess I'll just be like, still helping? I'm just going for a walk. I can do this anywhere. When are we gonna start doing something?
Usaa looks at you and he says, yes, continue to help. And this robed guy walks up to you and hands you a shovel.
I take the shovel.
Okay. He gestures at the collapsed area, and a couple of the other robed figures and one of the char fiends all go over and begin digging, and there's an obvious spot left open for you.
Okay, so I don't know how a shovel works.
But you can definitely see how they're moving them, so...
Right. So I'm going to look and be like, need shovel, why? I'm going to drop it and go over and do what they're doing with the shovels with my hand.
Yeah, you can absolutely like pick up chunk of rock and move all of those.
I don't understand why I need a shovel. My hands work just fine.
After a bit, you notice that Usaa is no longer there, but the one that gave you the shovel and one of the Charfiends seems to be like watching over the group as though they're kind of the foreman. But yeah, Usaa
white
disappears.
hats for construction slang.
Right, exactly. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Oh boy, I'm really good at those. Perception is just wisdom, right?
Correct. 12.
So that's 12.
As you begin to dig through and you're moving stone around, you do notice that the glow moves a little bit. Like areas that were glowing go out, and then a glow will appear elsewhere in the rubble.
Do I think that the glow is alive? Is that something that I might consider some sort of beast or monstrosity here, like almost like a fire elemental,
Right.
almost maybe?
Why don't you do either a nature or an arcana check, whichever you choose.
Pretty sure I suck at both of those. Hell yeah, I do. All right. So this is whatever I roll -1. 13.
13. It's a valid assumption, like it could be, but you really don't know for sure. You could postulate that is a thing, but you don't know of anything for sure.
Okay. What are the people who are digging next to me doing? How do they look? Do they look concerned?
Actually, no. Both
Then
of the
I'm
rogue
good.
figures, like they almost look like fervent, like the glow's moving, and they just get more excited and they continue digging.
Can't wait till I'm incinerated. I can't wait to
Right?
find out what a Hull Legionnaire turns into, because I assume it's not ash. So,
Yeah, what happens when you burn ectoplasm? Okay.
all right, undeterred, I will continue to help.
Okay. So meanwhile, hello everyone else. Some time passes and you don't hear anything from Doran. He doesn't come back. You don't see anyone come out of that tunnel. What do you all want to do?
I'd like to make a perception check, which is what I would have been doing during this time.
Sure.
Mainly looking for sounds of violence and someone getting murdered in the shadows.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And
or
since-
around in tunnels that you can't see down, stuff like that.
Yeah, and since I still haven't been able to log into Astral, I'm going to roll some new dice for the first time in an actual game, and
Nice.
that's a 7 plus 2. That's 9.
Cool. So you know what your bonuses are already?
Yeah, I know for the most part.
Okay. Awesome. So you do notice, especially because you're at an angle where you can keep an eye down there. You don't hear anyone screaming. You don't hear the sounds of violence being done, but you do see this robed figure and this char fiend disappear. Like they walk off out of your line of sight. What do you do?
Shrug and look at the rest of the party.
Okay. Freed, what's Freed thinking?
In the last game, did we ask Orla? Is that her name?
Yep.
Did we ask Orla what she knows about Mr. Fire Forehead?
You hadn't really asked specifics. She just like realized who he was, and she said that he is a bad individual. You don't want to mess with him.
Okay, well, I'd like to ask some specific, like, what's going on? Who are these people? Why is there so much fire? And do you know a way to get to the lava without going through the fire? Because lava is bad enough on its own.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with the fire people to get to the more fire. The liquid fire.
So you actually know more about how to get to where you're going than she does, because you have all seen the memories that you used to get down here.
Was
actually,
Freed kidnapped when that happened?
technically, Freed has not seen that, but Decim and Braca know more than she does.
Gotcha.
Which she points out, and she says, you know, I don't know why he's down here, but he's been wandering around Shelzar for the last couple of years after just like coming in from the desert half dead and raving about needing to find or restore the Empire of Flame.
So we have to kill him because that can't happen.
I mean, the Empire of Flame was a powerful force when it was here, and while Shelzar and like the Shelzari aren't like anti Empire of Flame, like it wouldn't really be an upgrade to their current society. So Titan worship in general, like they were pretty fanatical Thulkas followers. Titan worship in general is not like spread or well received in Shelzar. Like you can worship there, but people are like, oh, why?
I'm just gonna chew on that and try to get the homicidal thoughts out because, like, bringing back an empire full of flame. I don't even think Freed knows what that is. He's just like, "What fire? No, this must end."
A whole empire of fire?
Fire?
No.
So he's gonna chew on that and like try to suppress the homicidal thoughts. Like, okay, let's think about this rationally.
Okay.
What we can do.
In Decim.
I mean, Desm has faith in his progeny. Like Skrigic is clearly still doing his thing and terrorizing neighborhoods. You know, like a good Slytherin would, and Doran has either been eaten by those weird flesh creatures, or he's eaten them. You know, and either way, like. I feel like I've taught him everything I know to teach him at this stage, and he's gonna sit and just realize now that he bleeding out, as I've just now seen my hit points.
Yeah, those Charfiends before kind of let into you. I do remember that.
Yeah, the adrenaline's wearing off, and Desm is now, I think, feeling pretty beat up.
Yeah. So Borla like kind of eyes you all, and she's like, "So are we going after your friend, or are we heading out? Either way, I'm cool. Like, I'll be honest, Prachi just asked me to go with you all to make sure you didn't die, and to like kind of get an idea of how you guys were doing as a group, an adventuring group, since you're all new to this. I don't particularly want to die down here."
Friel's kind of like, we're the best, and like try to place his hand on the wall, but he can't really see the wall, so he kind of falls like 2 feet and like, catches himself.
Right. She does eye Freed and kind of like shakes her head a little bit.
That's why Brock is here, to catch Freed when he starts to fall.
Go ahead and make me a dex check, Brocka.
13 plus 3, that's 16.
And what's your DC or your AC there, Freed?
10?
Yeah, it's pretty low.
No, 15.
Oh, okay. Still, I mean, he doesn't have to like, he's not trying to hit you or anything. Yeah, he reaches out, just like kind of like blindly almost, and catches you by the cloak before you fall over. So like, even though you lean and start falling, and you're saying this, and Borla still shakes her head at you, he does manage to keep you from like completely eating shit.
And I'll just whisper back, "Thank you, Braka."
Yeah, Braka doesn't say anything bad. He's just...
Okay, so what's your response to her question?
I know that normally in adventuring, this is a really awkward situation of either splitting the party, not splitting the party. Is it a horrible faux pas to just kind of wait here, stretch a little bit, and see what happens next down there? I don't know what the rules are here.
Yeah, and Borla's kind of staring at you. Make an insight check.
No, that's not proficient in. That's a 22.
Nice. So I feel like you had noticed, this was a couple of sessions ago, which means it was like 5 or 6 weeks ago. And I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, but I think you had noticed before that she had been kind of sizing you all up, and now she's pretty much said why she's here. But that feel that she was kind of like, oh, you're really handling this well, when you were being attacked by those little mechanical creatures. A little bit of that is kind of like fading, and you get the feeling she's kind of looking at you all with a little bit of sense of at least unsurety. Like, one of your member has gone off and disappeared, and you're all standing around, and she's just like, I mean, and so aloud she says, I don't know if it's a faux pas. Usually when I'm with my group, I mean, we have split up before, but at least there's been a plan. I'm just glad we don't hear screaming yet. Hey, how about that?
Yeah, you see, that was my first part of the plan, is see if there's screaming. There isn't. And look, I guess, maybe it's the whole, going to the temple thing, but I feel like I've got to be honest and forthright about where we are and our level of competence since you're with us and may not have fully known what you're getting yourself into.
Well, I feel like the average of competence has been elevated because she's with you, if that matters.
Agreed.
Is
Yep.
she saying that, or are you saying that?
I'm saying that out of character. Sorry.
Oh, because I'm trying to imply that without saying that in character.
That is completely fair. And from that insight check, you also feel that is what she is thinking. So we'll say several minutes have gone by, and so I'm going to kick back up to Doran real quick. Doran, where are you on the map? Excellent. So I need you to make one more perception check for me there, Doran. Nice. Nice. So as you lift up a particularly large stone and chuck it over your shoulder, you turn and you look back, and underneath it is a glowing creature. Pew! That looks much like a large beetle that seems to just kind of like pulse with this light. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Incandescent.
It is incandescent. So 5. Excellent. All right, so we need robed figure 7, robed figure 6, robed figure 5.
At least these guys are on my team.
Char Fiend 2 and Char
I think they're going to
Fiend.
appreciate how I help in fights, though.
Okay. I get to roll dice. I'm excited. So what's your gut reaction there, Doran?
Well, the big pulse is, how big is it? Is it like several meters, or is it like a few centimeters?
It's about the size of a small wildcat or a very large house cat.
I mean, I've never seen anything like that before, right?
Do a nature check.
18.
In your foggy, disjointed memory, it does sound a little familiar. You remember something about trees and them burning.
Well, all these guys seem super stoked about fire. So I'm not really sure that I should be worried.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what they're supposed to be looking for.
And as you look down at it and you're kind of like, what? From behind you, a voice says, what is that? What have you found?
Found think fire you want.
And you can, if you don't glance over, you hear him walking closer.
I'm kind of like just pointing right at it. Can't wait till I take a giant stinger through my torso.
What's going on, Astral? It's kind of hung up here. All right, well. This Charfiend moves up with them, kind of like a hound, like it just kind of walks along, like at his side at heel. Robe figure 6. This robe figure actually kind of shouts out and stumbles back from you and the creature.
Right.
You're not really sure why. And then you find out why.
Yeah.
So it skitters up on the rock next to you, and then its like mandibles try and clamp around your leg.
Beautiful.
And it will bite into your leg. You're going to take 2 slashing as a little bit of ectoplasm spurts out. It feels, I mean, not great, but it could have been much worse. What do you do?
I cast sleep.
Okay. You're going to cast sleep on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your... Is it 5d8?
I think so. I'm looking at it right now.
Yep. Get it?
5d8, you said?
5d8. Oh, the combat tracker just caught up with us. That was awesome.
Did it? It said combat started for me at 21 on the 5d8.
Excellent. So, how many hit points do you have?
I have 9, now
Okay.
7.
And can you, because you are kind of a not necessarily living creature, can you be put to sleep? Is it on your...
I cannot be put to sleep by
Okay.
any means
Okay.
as a Hollow Legionnaire.
And let me double check. All right, so the kind of fiery looking bug thing and both the robe figures next to you collapsed to the ground asleep.
How did I manage to hit them?
I mean,
I'm worried.
it's an area of effect, and it just
Right,
starts
yeah.
at the lowest and goes up. And since you're immune to it, it doesn't count you, so we didn't have to worry about it. Where?
Right.
Oh, where?
Okay.
There we go.
Did I put everyone asleep around me? Because
Just
it's
the ones that are next to you, and then the rest are. Oops, wrong button. The rest are. It used up the amount of hit points that you rolled for.
Yeah, because I have a 90-foot range and a 20-foot area.
Gotcha. Where? There they are.
So if I cast it directly on that thing, I think I hit him.
Yeah, you hit yourself. Pretty much everything behind you, it just radiated out and put those ones to sleep. Where is it?
I'm helping.
Good sleep icon. Let's go with... Do you need to just have like a zzz or something for sleep?
Oh, use the sunglasses.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's blinded usually for me, but sunglasses works in this case. So that guy is sunglasses. This guy's going to be sunglasses.
Oh, there it is. I'm like looking everywhere for that 5d8 information. It's literally the first word on the second line, and I could not find it.
Well, it's always in the last place you look.
It'd be scary if it wasn't. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna keep looking anyway.
Exactly.
All right, so those two fall asleep next to you. The insect falls asleep. What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
So is everyone around me, or is it just the ones with the sunglasses?
Yeah, just the ones to the left and right of you, and then the bug that's in front of you.
All right, I'm going to yell, not sure, good, bad, talk, man, and then I'm going to dash move as far as I can to go find the big angry orc man.
Okay. So go ahead and move yourself, your movement.
Which is 30.
And you see the rogue figure that was curious what you had seen looks down at the sleeping insect.
Would I know with my check that there is going to be more of those bastards?
You're not really sure, but I will
Okay.
tell you that there is more glow that's deeper in the rock. It seems like you've uncovered one, but you're not really sure if there's more. But it's probably a good guess from the way that the glow is.
Yeah, I'll assume that they will make the same deduction, and I will not say anything.
Okay. So as you head back to try and find Usaa. So Decim and Braca and Freed, you're all hanging out. You're kind of waiting to see what has happened. You still haven't heard anything. What do you do?
Tend to my wounds.
Okay. Well, what would you be doing to do that?
Well, I mean, I've got all sorts of Dr. Zagini's Miracle Stitch and Dr. Zagini's Pain Be Gone and things like that. None of which are really particularly useful.
Right.
But he's going through the motions of it, at least. The best he knows to do.
Okay. Freed?
He's like starting a short rest, trying to regain some of his magical abilities.
Okay. And Braca?
Keeping watch, darting around back and forth a lot as only someone with a horse head can.
Okay.
Because Decim cured me after taking a pretty significant wound during our last combat, so I have no need for a further rest. So I should keep watch.
Okay. So Doran, I'm just moving you according to your statement that you're going to run and try and find him. So you run down this tunnel, leaving the robe figures behind you. You get back to here, and you don't see Usaa. You haven't been over here to the right at all. You came in through this corridor down here and to the left. Where do you want to go?
Actually, I was going to say, would I be able to use message to point where I think he's at?
Let me double check something real quick, because I think you have to at least know where.
I have to know where the general location of he is, but it goes around walls and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cantrip. You could essentially walk down and like be casting it and trying to like figure out where he's at.
That's what I was thinking. I'm just like throwing out like, hey, like what?
Yeah. When you get to here, like you're not getting anything back.
Okay. Shit. Well, I don't know the rest of the cavern, so I'm headed back the way that we came.
Okay. Are you gonna head all the way out?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if they're there.
This is so weird. The map just keeps disappearing. Everything's glitchy today. All right, so you come trekking out and look around. You don't see anyone. There are like several of those braziers that are like lighting the area, but you don't see Usaa. You don't see any of the cultists. You might. Let's see. Actually, when I say you don't see any of the cultists, that is a lie. Because if I can get the map to work for me, because of the light that's in here, you do see a couple that are up here by this northern tunnel. Can you see that? Actually, let me click on your. Yeah.
A ping.
So way up.
Yeah,
on
now
the,
I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, way up there you see a couple, and they don't really seem to pay you any mind. They're heading up that tunnel.
I will message one of them instead of running all the way to them,
Okay.
because the sense of urgency of like, could be the thing you were looking for. So I'll message one of them and be like, found in Doran's speech, bite fire bug beetle on leg. Find might need.
The one that you message like looks around, like grabs his head, and he's like, "What the heck?" And he actually does end up seeing you. And they can they message back? The target and can reply in a whisper that only you hear. Yeah, so he replies. Did you kill it?
Green.
You should tell Usaa he might want to keep them.
Usaa is where?
And like visibly you see him like shrug and he lifts his hands. I don't know.
Do I recognize that hooded figure at all?
No.
Like, was he
In fact,
one of the ones that...
you didn't see him earlier. Like, he probably either came from somewhere else and is heading up that tunnel, or came down from that tunnel and is heading back.
I was gonna say, tell him to go look as well, but I guess that's what I'll tell him. I'll go look for Usaa. Urgent.
If I find him, I'll let you know. I'll send him
And
that
since
way.
I will assume, since I don't know anything to the north, I'm going to head back in the way that I just came from and go the other direction, to the east,
Okay.
instead of the north at that split.
So, Braca, as you're looking around, you see Doran come out of that tunnel and is looking around like he's looking for somebody, and then concentrates up towards the north. I feel like you can probably catch sight of that rogue figure as the rogue figure walks down that tunnel and then moves off out of the light.
Are there any pebbles around me?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. All right. So what Brock is hoping to do is see if there would be a way to just look around, wait for the right time, just kind of, hide as much as possible, and then whoosh, try and throw a pebble at Doran to try and get Doran's attention, and hey, come back to the rest of the party.
Okay. So go ahead and roll. So you're trying to like ping him with it, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll a ranged throw attack.
All right. Would I be close enough that this would be normal range, or am I at disadvantage?
You can move up if you would like to. Like he's standing there for a few moments, so if you want to move up close enough to just throw it and not have to be at disadvantage, that's fine.
So that's a crit. I hope this doesn't end up accidentally.
I mean, it's a
being
pebble. Yeah, you definitely ping him with it. So Doran, like this pebble bounces off your armor. It obviously came from this direction.
I will turn and look. And do I see anything?
You moved up, is that right? To throw it?
Yeah, I moved up just as far as I have to.
Okay. So we're just going to move
And
you.
I figured there would also need to be a little bit of a... Over.
Right.
Not
So
saying anything, but with a very angry horse face.
In the gloom that's beyond the collapsed wall, Doran, you can see Braca kind of standing in the shadows. He's kind of not stamping his hoofs, but that like look of irritation that horses get on their face. It's real. It's a thing. He's like snorting and kind of like trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
So Jim, and tell him what's going on.
What's that?
And then I take in. If I see that there's any kind of eye contact, I'm taking a step back.
Okay.
I'm definitely not following you, but I will message you and say, found bug that is fire. Need find orc mad and then I will run away.
You do get a reply if you'd like, Braca.
Yeah, reply. Orc man would kill us all, including you. That's bad for you, right? I don't know with Hollow Legionnaires if that's actually a long-term problem.
That is fair.
I don't know
I
what
don't
Hollow
believe-
Legionnaires are. I'm an idiot.
I don't believe the orc man is going to harm me, so that's what I will say back.
Okay. So if you message that back, then Braca would get another reply if you want. Otherwise, Doran's gonna book it.
He worships a titan who wants to burn the world.
Doran like sighs. This is what he was worried about. Like one of the things that he vividly remembers about why he started adventuring from the spires is and he'll just respond with, each from can all. The way inherent is evil and other good learn. No one other form can.
So Braca, take that how you will.
Braca's going to take a few steps back. Braca is not capable of putting that message together.
Okay. So with that,
and
Doran.
then,
sorry, let me just. Doran, are you gonna
Braca's-
book it after that?
Yeah, well, Doran very much so is to decipher the message. Very much so believes that good and evil isn't black and white, and that everybody has some sort of redeemable quality, and that we can all learn from each other. And that's why he started adventuring, was to learn from everyone else and maybe pick up pieces of himself along the way.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how he does it. So that was basically what his message meant.
So Doran,
that's what I, as a player, picked up.
Right.
Braca's interpretation is very different.
Yes, but I wanted to make it clear because it is a word salad at best.
Yes.
So does Doran?
Yes.
Does Doran like leave after he sends that message?
Absolutely.
Okay. So for Braca, he disappears as you step back, trying to mow through that word salad. As he disappears, what do you do?
Turn to the rest of the party and say, I spoke with Doran a bit, but I think his language center is broken. As someone who's very familiar with broken things, I think he's a bit broken now, because the last message didn't make any sense. It involved something about evil and good, and I couldn't make sense of it because there were a lot of words in there that didn't make sense and weren't in the right order. So I don't know if we can help. Someone help me figure out if we can help him.
Yeah.
So he came here and then he left.
Yeah, he came up. He was looking for Usaa. Had to report something that there's some firebug down there, which is hostile to everyone else. Which is hostile to him, to Usaa's robed figures, to everyone down there. And so I said, "Oh, wait a minute. There's Doran. I'll throw a pebble to get his attention." Apparently, I'm really good at throwing pebbles. That's the one positive I got out of this interaction. And Doran is definitely alive. That's also very positive. I don't understand many other parts, but Doran is alive.
And he chose to go back with the firebug?
Yes.
I'm gonna look at Decim. Is there still to see like what's happening on Decim's evocative face?
Right.
I mean, Desm is trying really hard to treat these wounds, and
So trying not to die.
and the ointments aren't working as, of course, to be expected, but still giving it a go. Like, he's only partially paying attention, but Firebug does catch his attention, and he asks what a Firebug is.
I'm pretty sure I would have no clue what a firebug is. We didn't have that back at the homestead.
Yeah, I am pretty sure you are correct.
Goes Orla.
Let's see. Yeah, Borla's gonna ask if he described it anymore, or did he just say firebug?
I was just firebug, so.
Yeah, I just got firebug.
Okay, I mean that there's a good range, especially in this area of the world. There's a fairly decent amount of fire type bugs. Could be a lot of things.
I know. Speaking of which, though, I am from the desert and proficient in survival. Would I have any guess of what the firebug might be?
Go ahead and make a nature check.
That's a 19. -1, 18.
Yeah, gonna go with the same thing where, like, especially because you're, like, from this area, that could describe a lot of different things. But yeah, because he didn't
say it bit me. I did say it bit.
Yeah,
I'm sure that helps.
I'll give you this. He did say it bit you, and
much.
he's not dead yet. So that rules out, like, things that are poisonous, things that would have bit him in half, rather than just, like, nicking him. So you're pretty sure it's, like, not in the list of the more deadly things you can think of, but there are definitely, like, other fire insects that are smaller that you can think of.
Would it rule out things that are poisonous? I don't know if Doran is immune to poison or not.
Yeah.
Is it valuable?
I mean, you guys, I don't think know, but I am resistant to poison.
Oh yeah, I just look at your body, be dumb, and think, yeah, there's a suit of armor. There's not a whole lot to be poisoned. Raka also assumes you can never get drunk.
Probably a good assumption. All right, so what do you guys want to do?
Is a firebug valuable?
What do you think, Braka? Do you think the firebug would be valuable?
How? My guess is no, but that's as much player knowledge of I don't see how firebug could be turned into currency.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a curiosity, and we have a store, and I don't know, maybe
There are a lot of firebugs in the area, though. It's not that much of a curiosity.
What are you thinking, Decim?
Well, he's gonna go back to tending his wounds.
Okay. Borla kind of looks at Braka and looks at the other two, and then just sits down. So, Doran, you race back up here, and you wanted to head off in that area you hadn't gone, correct?
Yes, to the east.
So do you want to go up these stairs or head down this hallway?
Well, those stairs are on the map, because I'm just assuming I can't see everything that I see. So
Correct.
those stairs are pretty beat up. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and avoid the beat up stairs, because
Okay.
that's probably not where anybody would head. So I'm going to make that assumption and keep heading directly to the east.
Okay. So you get over
All the
here.
while throwing out cantrips, trying to find the angry orc man with message.
So when you get here, you can look to the north. There aren't any braziers lit in this area. So remind me, do you have dark vision?
I do not. Just
Okay.
my own illuminated glow.
So that pretty much like
Of,
lights up like your space.
Yeah.
What do you want to do for light as you enter into here?
I believe I have a lamp.
Okay.
Nope, I have a candle.
A candle. Okay. So the candle gives you like, I think it's 5 and 5. So like 5 foot of bright and 5 foot of dim. Is that right?
Yes.
Let me-
You are right.
Okay.
5 foot radius and then dim light for an additional 5. So
See-
I can't see shit.
Yeah. So you light your candle and it's like a horror movie. You're just like walking along. You see over here, and then this doorway appears, and you're like, message, 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 and you head up, and you're not getting any answers as you head up, but you do find another tunnel that reverts back to this like kind of crumbled, collapsed in area that has been cleared out. And passing through it, you actually enter what looks like the inside of a building. And you feel your message essentially ping on something, but nothing responds. And you feel like it's over this direction, kind of
Where I'm
up
going.
and to the right. So you want to head that way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The DM, sick of the player's shit, is now sending him to his death.
So as you walk in this direction, like you know that the message hit something over here,
Right.
but you walk in and you don't see anyone in your 10 foot of light.
I will yell out then
Okay.
instead.
What do you say?
I will basically just address the angry orc man and say that we found something additional to the something that was already found in that hallway, but in Doran speak, so it makes no goddamn sense.
Okay. So make a perception check for me.
Oh boy. That's an 8, so
I need to check. No, not Doran.
don't know why. Oh. Oops.
So we're just going to call it this one.
There we go.
For those of you who can see. Ouch. So there's a stabbing pain in your chest, unlike anything you've felt since you've been reawakened as a Hollow Legionnaire. Like piercing in a way that your flesh, like you have recollections of all of a sudden, like from your life, that flesh feels like, whereas like pain in your ectoplasm feels a little more disjointed. This is like this searing, horrid pain as something slams into your chest. So I need 2 saves. Make a con check first. Or save, sorry. Con save.
Constitution save.
Yeah.
So that's how. So how do saves work? That's one of the things I'm not certain on. So what do I roll?
Let's see. So you're a bard, so you're not
My
proficient
Constitution
in it.
modifier is +1. My proficiency is 2. So
Okay.
is that like my spell attack? So that's like 11.
So you're not proficient in Constitution saves, so you're going to add 1 to whatever you roll.
Okay. Got it. So 16.
Okay, so you managed to like, you feel this draining sensation. It seems to pull on that bit of you that animates your armor. So you could call it your soul if you want to.
Being soul burned.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And and it seems to pull into this thing that's sticking out of your chest. Then you need to make a charisma saving throw. And you should be proficient in this one.
I am, yeah. So that is that is 13.
Okay. So you know that disjointedness that you've had in your head where it's almost like multiple people are thinking, and part of like why your language is broken.
Yep.
It kind of seems to like subside for a moment, and you can tell that there are these like fragments of other people's, not a person's, lifetimes in your head, and you can think of all of them separately for a moment, and then they disappear.
Like a euphoric moment of clarity for once.
And when they disappear, you can tell they are pulled into this thing in your chest, and you can look down and it looks like this large red crystal. And Usaa steps into your light.
So, yeah, I was about to say. So am I dead? Or?
No, but you feel very clear. You feel very. I don't want to give spoilers away to other players or the audience, but you feel very mono.
Part of like a crystal matrix now.
Great. Yeah, you feel very mono personality. Which personality that is completely up to you. But it seems like any other confusion and those other existences that were in you are now in that crystal. And you do feel like there is a sense of control over your body that you don't have.
Well, I will greet him and tell him what I came to tell him. Kind of like, because it's so clear that I have this new clarity of focus on what I was already focused on doing.
Yeah.
So that I won't... It happens so fast that it hasn't like fully registered yet.
Yeah.
What is going on? So I'm still focused on the task at hand, and I haven't properly like gotten the moment to experience or ask what's happening.
Roll a d6 for me.
6.
Okay. So you say, you like report this to him, and he just kind of looks at you funny, and he has this look of kind of surprise on his face, but also of annoyance, and he kind of like growls. He also doesn't seem to have understood you.
I will message him then.
Okay. This is a good question. Hang on one moment.
I don't think it makes him understand me.
Right, so this isn't like telekinesis where you don't have to share a language. Make me an intelligence check.
That is gonna be a bad time.
Oh, yeah. You don't
like a -1.
You don't really catch on. You message him, and his face kind of like becomes more angry, and he reaches out and he actually like shoves that crystal, like he's trying to like lodge it further in your chest. It doesn't do anything more, but it's like he's like trying to connect the loose circuit.
Right.
What do you do?
I said he was broken. Did you hear me somehow?
So when I'm talking to him, I'm like completely monotone, like
Okay.
no inflection of emotion at all.
Yeah.
Like the world's most boring history teacher. You know what I mean?
Bueller. Bueller.
When he's pushing on that, it'll start to kind of like come to me that like I've lost my personalities.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know whether he was trying to help and now it's frustrated that it's not working or what, because deep down I still believe that there's like good and bad in everybody.
Yeah.
So him pushing on that, I'll take his hand like gently, like, and pull it off and then point the way that I came and then like shepherd him and like go to walk away.
Okay. So when you like go to take his hand, he like pulls his hand back and he looks furious and he says something to you very angrily, but it doesn't make sense to you anymore. You don't understand what he's saying.
I'm trying to think of, hold on. Do I have? So I have my candle lit, right?
Yep.
When I came in here, I'm going to assume that it's waxy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and draw via the wax and like dirt in the floor the firebug, like what I remember the firebug is.
So you're gonna like
and
drip the wax in like the formation essentially to try and like
yeah, and then point
okay.
at the candle's fire, and then at the bug, and then the way that came from.
Do a performance check.
Oh, God.
Or sleight of hand. It could be sleight of hand. Either way,
Oh,
that
it
is a
doesn't
terrible
matter.
roll. Yeah.
I mean, sleight of hand's +4.
Okay.
So that's an 8.
So as you're doing it, like it's very, it looks like a blob, with some sticks sticking out of it, like some like your legs for it. It just has like, you know, several lines coming out of it, and then like the mandibles that bit you. You completely see it, but when you look up like expectantly and you point at the fire and you point at it, Usaa's just like staring at you like still angrily. His face really hasn't changed, and he says something to you, and then he points the direction you came from.
Are there any bugs like skittering around near me?
You don't see any.
Or
No.
fuck. Well, I guess I still don't understand what he says, but I understand that motion.
Yeah.
So I assume that he's like, okay, I'll come. So I'm gonna start and then turn around and like shepherd him.
Yeah, and he follows you.
He's not following. He is following me.
And
Perfect.
as he walks, as you like turn around and like check to see if he's following you, you notice like a few of those char fiends are just at the edge of your candle's light, and they are like moving with him. So we're gonna step away from you as you head that direction and come back to the others who are down here. So a bit of time has passed. Braca, you don't see anyone come back out of that tunnel. And Decim is like over there lathering himself in these stinky creams. Every so often, like a hiss of like smoke arises from it, and you can see his wound like bubbles, and he kind of cringes his face. It's like when you pour hydrogen peroxide on something that's, you know, has gunk in it, and it does that bubblingness. Looks like it hurts a little, and Decim, it does hurt a little as you rub Dr. Zagini's pain cream into your wound. Freed,
You feel the healing.
right? Freed's just chilling out. That was not an intended pun, but it completely works. You haven't finished your hour of short rest yet, but it's probably getting close as these things have gone on. What do you all do?
I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Unless to press on, Desmond. Be thankful that we're resting.
Okay. Freed. Oh, Freed's computer crashed. Okay, so what I meant to say was Braca.
is there a point at which I just kind of become a little more used to the hissing and the various medicinal smells that are coming from Decim's direction?
You know, it's actually a much shorter time than you would expect it to be. You've kind of grown used to these things in general with Decim. So yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah,
you can tell that Borla is like, and she moves away to go sit like away from Decim.
I'm trying to think of this as like another part of monkish training to just get used to these kinds of distractions and to not let it throw me off of my center.
Makes sense. All right. So
Destin will try, however, to sell this ointment to Borla, as you know, she should also try the miracle cream. Get 2 tubes for 1 gold.
Right.
That's a steal. Other people are selling them for like 3 for 30 silver.
So Decim, make me a perception check.
Perceiving. Super good at that. Wow.
So
19.
you're really like getting used to the idea of like having to what happened to our video?
Apparently,
he's
my
back.
computer is uncrashed.
Yay!
Yay.
Are you gonna make it back with video or
Oh, video.
nice? All right, so Decim, you're used to like seeing, like, you know, being in I don't want to say in customers' faces, but your selling technique is a little forward, and so you're really used to like watching their facial reactions as you're doing your sales, and you're really getting good at like knowing when you've got someone. You do not have Borla, and in fact, you keep noticing as Borla looks over your shoulder at something, and obviously you can see her like nod every so often, and Braca, as you're making your "no, don't buy it" gestures towards Borla, you can like, she definitely knows that is she's 100% on board with your your suggestion. What do you do, Fareed?
He's still taking his like short rest,
Okay.
making sure like Decim usually uses these creams, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to die.
It's true.
But taking a look every once in a while to make sure he's still actually moving.
Yeah.
He is
yeah,
missing
he's
a few patches of fur at this point. Like he is shedding in some spots, but besides the fizzing and stank, it doesn't seem.
okay. So Doran, as you're leading Usaa back, just roll an insight check for me real quick.
He's gonna kill me. 18.
Nice. So you definitely get the feeling that, one, the words that you're saying are not being comprehended by Usaa, but more importantly, you get this feeling like he feels like he's very in control of the situation. Like the way he's treating you is much like he seemed to be treating those other robed figures.
Right.
And you lead him back down here. It looks like these robed figures have dug out more of the collapsed area, and you see several of these glowing beetles.
Murdering the shit out of everyone who's
They're
left.
all asleep.
They're all asleep.
Yeah.
I will point at myself and then the bugs and do this. So he understands that I was the one who did it, and
Gotcha.
and then after that I will point to the candle and then the floor and then try symbol for the bug again. Like, this is what I was trying to tell you.
He does glance at you, and maybe he understands, but then he moves past you and he says something again. You don't understand him, but he's
not
gestures.
speaking in abyssal or anything, is he?
No. In fact, the words sound familiar to you, but you just don't understand them. It's almost like this is what he was saying earlier, and you could comprehend what he was saying, but now
my
it's
matrix
just
is
not.
all messed up, and
Yeah.
I get what I've been dishing out. Yes.
You do notice that the two robed figures, that were asleep have been woken up, and they're helping to pick up these fire beetles. They are fairly large, like a little bit bigger than a cat, smaller than a dog, and they're like kind of stuffing them into sacks if they can get them to fit, and the charfians are just kind of like hanging out, like dogs that have been told to stay. I should say obedient dogs that have been told to stay, because my dog would not stay there that long. And Usaa says some more stuff that you understand, and he gestures back towards you, and the robe figures nod, and one walks over with a couple bags and holds them out to you.
I take them.
Okay.
I'm still helping. I'm growing increasingly more aware of the crystal. Now that I've gotten him here, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And
but I will take the bags.
That pain isn't really there anymore. There's definitely like a dull throbbing in your chest that's not comfortable, but it's not like that searing stabbingness that happened when it was stuffed in there. And we're just gonna remove these.
What's in those bags? Do I take a look and not become beheaded?
Yeah, it's the beetles.
Okay.
It looks like they're stuffing the beetles into the bags, and then so one, you have two bags and there's one in each of them, and then another of the robe figures walks over. He also has a one of the beetles in a bag, and he says something to you and gestures for you to follow, and starts heading back the way you came.
Now, is the orc man staying there?
Yeah, so he seems to be like watching as the other ones finish stuffing the beetles into bags, and he says something, and the charfiends go over and begin resuming like digging out that collapsed area.
So before I leave, I'll address him as best I can, and point at my chest, and then just put like what I would assume is still universal, just a question mark into the I'll just put it into the dust with my finger.
Okay. So he looks at you, and he says something again, and it seems very angry. But again, you don't understand it. And so when you do the question mark, he walks back up to you, and he reaches out and he jiggles the crystal again. Do you do anything?
Is it like seared into me?
It does seem to be attached to you.
Magically? Or just via force?
Do an Arcana check.
Oh god, I'm so bad at those two. Oh,
Nice.
Not this time.
It does seem magically adhered to you.
Shit. I have no way of doing anything with that because I'm out of spell slots. And I know that the Charfiends have these on them too, right?
Yep.
That's been the common thing. So I'm starting to pick up that he kind of doesn't even see me as somebody that was like, I'm helping them, willingly, like that wasn't good enough, so he almost needed like indentured servitude, and that's what he's using these for. So I will, in my clarity, understand that for the most part, and follow this hooded figure back to the branch down here. I'm sure you can see where I'm clicking way into the astral, like way back down the hallway.
Okay.
And when we get there, I'm gonna try and just go back to the party and and see if I can even understand them. But I'm gonna try and give him the slip.
Okay. So yeah, you follow him down there, and he leads. I mean, he's not necessarily leading you that direction, but you follow him back out, and he. As you get to this intersection that leads into the larger room, he looks back at you and says, "Stuff you don't understand." And he gestures up at the building that's on top of that that raised building. It's kind of like a ziggurat, but not quite.
Yeah, where we first ran into each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So like up here, if you can see the ping.
I'm going to assume that he wants me to take the. Is he carrying beetles?
Yep.
And he's not capable of carrying anymore, I assume.
It seems like it is pretty difficult to carry more than what you guys are carrying. So.
All right. So I will then look down the last place I saw Braca and see if I see anybody there still.
Braca, have you moved at all? Or are you gonna be where you were?
As far as I know, I'm pretty much in the same place. We've just been kind of hanging out and worrying.
Okay. So as you are sitting there, you do hear this robed figure walk out, and then Doran walks out behind him, and the robed figure turns around and is like, okay, we're going to put him up in the building on top of the ziggurat, and then you need to run back and get the other ones. You notice there is a large red gem jammed into Doran's chest. And then the hooded figure just like steps down and heads off this direction.
So I will message Braca then.
Okay.
And I will say in the completely normal now for me and monotone, I don't know what's going on. I'm not myself.
And Braca, you have a reply.
What? First, what is Braca here?
Exactly that.
I heard you. You sound different. What happened? Let me tell the others.
Not sure. But I can't understand. You're the first person I can understand since I've had this gem adhered to me.
And I understood what the hooded figure was saying, right?
Yep.
So...
He was speaking Shelzari, which you understand.
Right. So I say... I understood the hooded figure with you speaking Shelzari was giving instructions to put the things you're carrying at the top of the ziggurat, then follow him. What are you carrying?
I don't know what they're called, but I'll do my best to describe them before, but I'll basically say the firebug.
Okay.
Because I assume I remember saying, that's a firebug. What do you mean?
So while you're like having this conversation, all of a sudden that robe figure calls out, and you don't understand it, Doran, but he says Braca can understand it. What are you doing? I told you to go up and put those away. And he begins to head back towards you in somewhat of a threatening manner. And with
I'm starting to pick up that the people that I can't understand also probably have crystals in some way, shape, or form embedded in them, and that my frequency isn't matching theirs, and that's why I can't understand them at all.
Could be.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think as the player, but Doran's starting to be like, they definitely think I'm like a char fiend. They probably don't even know what a Hall Legionary is. So they're like, oh, look at this creature that we could totally use.
Right?
So I will.
Well, so we're gonna end right there. So as he's heading towards you, we're going
I was
to
about to start
call
some
it for
shit.
this week, right? So you'll have time to think about what shit you're going to say. I know we have a couple of people that need to bounce fairly early, so let's do outros real quick, and I'm going to let Chaz go
Jeremy,
first.
I had one thing real quickly that'll help for continuities we're picking up next week. Was I able to tell the other people who were around me a little of what's going on?
I feel like you were starting to say that as the robe figure shouts at Doran. So it'll be a simultaneous thing.
All right. Yep. So we'll know where to pick it up next week.
Perfect. Cool. Thank you. And Chaz, go ahead and do your outro so you can bounce.
So I am Chaz, a PhD student who studies video games and music and storytelling, and I play Freed, who is just happy to be kind of chilled right now. Yeah. And I have a meeting 4 minutes ago, so I will see you all later.
Sounds good. You bounce, and we will catch you later.
See it.
All right. So that, I know our orders are out of whack here, but let's go with Noah.
Hi, I'm Noah Grand, and I play Braca Blue. I write things on the DM's Guild. I help with various events making the move to online, particularly charity events. And yeah,
Huzzah.
That's me.
And John, how about you tell us all about yourself?
My name is John, and I play Desm. Longtime nerd, and really like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Huzzah. Awesome.
Heartlands is super cool. And you can follow me on my adventures here, making whiskey in Ireland, on Instagram at Distillosaurus Rex.
Nice. And last but not least, Tric.
Hi, I'm a variety streamer on Twitch, level designer for 15 odd years for Relic Entertainment and Intangent, THQ, and Sega after the bankruptcy of THQ into Sega when they purchased them. Doing my own community projects and helping people learn about level design and talking about them during the variety streams. The game's really just a backdrop if you're ever really interested in what it kind of special madness it takes to constantly want to make maps, because I know a lot of people hate that. I'm more than happy to discuss that with you, or tips and tricks and things like that. It's always a pleasure. I've also recently started writing for D&D, a huge project that finally was announced. I've been doing it for about a year now, and my first adventure was just published like 2 days ago.
Nice. What was that?
It was Flight of the Kobolds for Odysseys and Overlords for Travis.
Gotcha.
Actually, for Aegis Studios. So
exciting.
That's all super exciting, and I'm able to run the deal of if you check out the Patreon and get the lowest tier of $1, you can have that PDF for free.
Nice.
So it's half off, and all kinds of other shit. Because whatever, basically anything that goes up, if I can, I'll give it to whoever's on the Patreon. So, and there's some really cool stuff coming to the Patreon this month.
So I will have to add your new DM's Guild or sorry, Drive Through RPG stuff to the post the show links. The post.
Yep. Now that it's a reality, I can continue on the huge story that it's supposed to be.
Nice, nice. I guess that leaves me. I am Jeremy Hochhalter. You can find me here on Wednesdays and Fridays, streaming actual plays and doing lore shows. Here on WH Publications on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter at WHPubs or over on Facebook at WH Publications. If you're interested in making sure you stay up on top of things that I'm publishing, head over to WHPublications.com, click on the newsletter, and sign up. I'm going to aim, like it's not even New Year's yet. I'm trying to make my New Year's resolutions to actually stay up on my newsletter. So if there are people like actually holding me to that, then I'll make sure I do it. But anyway, as far as Scarlands news goes, I recently published Dromios, the Visual Watch Dromios book, which ties into Yugman's Guide to Gelspad Part 5. So it is some unofficial community content meeting official new canon content for Scarlands. I'm pretty stoked about that. So I will post links to that in the show notes on YouTube. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm going to let everyone get going so they can do their adulting. Have fun, take care of yourself, and we will see you next time. Bye.